Had a bit of a false start earlier. This one, though, this is going to be the winner. Wing Nole, wake up. Can we expect to see coaches continually start players this year that do not appear to be giving maximum effort? Last year, we had multiple players on defense starting game after game who clearly lacked passion and effort, yet all year long, they were still out there making no impact at all. This was, even after the season was totally lost, but they were still rewarded as starters. This question always sparks conversation. Dare I say, generates discussion, sparked by Cummins. Corey Clark, please. It's generating discussion. It's sparked by Cummins. Give them a follow on Instagram. It's all one word, CumminsLifestyle. So many awesome things they're doing over on their Instagram page that you can see, all with the power of Cummins products, the Onin line of products, the portable generators, the portable power stations. Shout out. I hope everybody in South Mississippi that listens to the show, things are trending up for you folks after the horrendous weather event. But Corey, I was checking my PS1000 portable power station to make sure I had like full juice before those storms were maybe go through this past weekend. And dude, I don't think I used it since maybe one of the hurricanes came through. It was still at like 98%. It was ready to go. I didn't have to use it, obviously, because Tallahassee got spared mostly. So these things work legitimately. Check it out. CumminsLifestyle over on Instagram. All right, Corey. So this was a question that people always be talking about of late, right? Guys not giving enough effort and still getting out there and playing. Cam Davis, go check out his interview, but he talked about how there's no BSing. It's all work and it's constant work. And it feels weird saying that, Corey, because listen, when we watched them practice in 2024, we weren't looking around and saying, oh, they're dancing, they're laughing, they're taking plays off. I've got video of Jared Verse between reps in 2022 laughing and smiling. You can have fun and smile and still take care of your business. So I thought they practiced fairly hard last year. But I guess when you hear a guy like Cam Davis say, there's no BS, this is all work, it's all business, at least for day one. I mean, you can only take him at his word, but that's obviously something great to hear because people keep thinking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I think Wing Noles' real question is more about not just how they practice, but how they looked playing the games last year. It wasn't like they weren't playing hard. It's one thing to not practice hard, which should never be a thing. But when you're playing in front of, millions of people sometimes, certainly in front of tens of thousands, and you care at all, you would think you're going to give maximum effort. I think the problem there was twofold. Number one, maybe not the best personalities at some of the position groups, maybe not the most urgent, fiercest competitors that you'd want, but also, let's just use the two defensive ends for an example. I know they became punching bags late in the year. Let's say Peyton and Marvin Jones, you're just I can't watch this anymore. Y'all aren't giving the requisite effort that we want. Marvin, you won't hold an edge at all. Peyton, half the time when you rush and you get stood up, you just stand there. It's just hard to watch. We're not playing you anymore. The problem is, and this goes back to the recruiting, you didn't have anybody behind that you're those guys absolutely have to play. Even a 60% Patrick Peyton was better than 100% some of the other guys. So that's where the problem was, I think, especially when you're like Adam Fuller and you're trying to save your job. You roll some of those guys out there that might play with 100% effort, they're going to get mowed over. But which I guess the counter to that is, well, they got mowed over anyway. At least have people that are playing hard all the time and giving maximum effort. So to answer the question, but I think that was a problem midway through that season when they were really trying to figure out anything and everything. You can't just start benching your most talented players. You just hope something gets through to them. Because in any way it didn't work because he lost his job anyway. And then you could say the same thing for Atkins on the other side. You kept playing guys that couldn't block or wouldn't block well enough. And you lost your job too. So maybe you should have rolled with younger guys and just seen what happened. In hindsight, couldn't have been any worse. But I think to answer this question, I think the roster is better to the point where absolutely. I number one, I don't think Malzahn and Herb Hand are going to put up with that necessarily, and I certainly don't think Tony White and Terrence Knighton are. So no, I don't think if you're going to see guys not giving maximum effort that they'll continually get to start even though they haven't earned any starting spot. I think especially the guys on this team, because they have no history with any of the four guys I just mentioned, weren't here last year. They did not recruit these guys. They have no history with them. They don't feel beholden to any of these players. They will absolutely make them earn their starting spot, and they'll make them earn keeping that starting spot. So it's a fair question because it was really a bummer to watch a lot of times last season. But I think the dynamics of this new coaching staff, with an uptick in talent across the board on the roster, should really alleviate most of that.
You know, Gus Malzahn just has so much more cachet than any other offensive coordinator in the country, let alone a guy like Alex Atkins. And for Alex Atkins, like, yes, you're offensive coordinator in title and in salary, but you know, how many times in an offensive meeting is Alex really going to get up and maybe say something that, you know, either, I don't know, I don't want to say undercuts, but just something that's going to really like soar over the words of Mike Norvell. Like it's his offense, it's his team. You're the OC, pretty much a name only. Like, what can you really say that's going to, you know, elicit some real, you know, following from the players? Man, Gus, like, listen, Gus is ultra confident, right? Like, he's like, all right, yeah, Mike's the head coach, but this is my offense, my plays. I'm designing them. I'm calling them. I'm the one that had 40 of you new people. Like, I'm the one that brought you in here. So I think that's going to help a lot of people fall in line and realize what the standard is. And then I think Adam Fuller, man, I think give Adam Fuller, and this is not a knock, you give him a room full of professional dudes that are driven and know what they want, he'll stay out of their way and he'll know what buttons to push. But when you have to like really motivate and you know, force guys to find different levels that they maybe don't think they're capable of, I don't know if maybe that was Adam Fuller's calling as a coach, but I think that's Tony White. I think Tony White's got that in him. So there's completely different sort of skill sets, not even skill sets, but like interpersonal skills that these coordinators have. That's not going to even make this, I don't think, an issue. Like, you won't even be able to get on the practice field if you're not playing with effort, let alone a game, Corey.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it really does help that, like, the fact that Malzahn and Hand have such a track record, and Tony White has a nice track record too, it's just a lot shorter, about, like, who are you to give them gruff about anything? Like, what are you going to say to Gus Malzahn? He coached Cam Newton. Like, what are you going to say to him? There's no way you're the best player he's ever coached. And he can tell you that repeatedly. Alex Atkins, I don't know who the best lineman he's ever coached was. It was probably on that team last year, or a team 2 years before. Adam Fuller, he owed a lot of his career to guys that were at Florida State, guys that were a part of that 2022-2023 team. And Tony White owes nothing to anyone. He got here because of what he did at Nebraska and what he did at Syracuse. So I just think again, I go back to that dynamic where, man, I just think that they won't accept less. Well, and I don't think Adam Fuller woke up every morning and it's like, man, if they don't play hard, that's fine. I think it bothered him. I think he tried. I think he cajoled. But some of them might have been too far gone. Some of them might just frankly not been good enough. And that was a problem that for another generating discussion. Because, yes, that roster, even if it had played as hard as it possibly could, was not a good college football roster.
Shout out to Wing Knoll. He's going to be entered into a drawing at the end of the month for a gift bag from Cummins. You too can be involved if you're a member of Warchant.com. Post on the Renegade Express and get your question featured in here. In the meantime, give them a follow on Instagram. CumminsLifestyle is all one word. Deuces for this segment, Corey.